Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everybody, it's me again, your host Muhammad Ahmad, and today with a new episode of our series Allah Says, Yaqulullah. And today's episode is going to take just one ayah. It talks about the ability of Allah, tells you who Allah is, tells you a little bit about the unity of Allah. He's just one. It is very important to believe in that Allah is one, and to believe what Allah does, because He tells us that He didn't leave us just to figure out. He told us, and then we're going to look around and we'll find that everything He said is true. So today, our episode today is from chapter 10, and it's ayah 32. It says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قل من يرزقكم من السماء والأرض أمن يملك السمع والأبصار ومن يخرج الحي من الميت ويخرج الميت من الحي ومن يدبر الأمر فسيقولون الله قل أفلا تتقون فذلكم الله ربكم الحق فماذا بعد الحق إلا الضلال فأنى تصرفون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the kafirin, is telling our Prophet to tell al-kafirin, who is giving you rizq? Rizq is whatever comes to you from anything. Anything that comes to you, you've nothing to do with, is rizq from Allah, is giving, alms giving, something Allah gives us. Like health, money, children, breath, food, clothes, everything that we have is rizq. And this rizq actually is coming from as-sama', the skies, and from the earth. Okay? So everything we have is coming from both of these things, because when we were created on earth, we've never brought anything with us when we were born. We were born and we found everything on earth. Nothing we have made is coming from nothing. No, everything is coming from something. Everything. So the food we eat is coming from the earth, and the food we eat, it was before a plant. This plant was watered from the sky, from rain. So every rizq we have, even these clothes, are made from material. This material goes back to another material until you find the source. The source is maybe something from the earth or from the sky. Allah is saying that 1,500 years ago almost. أَمَّن يَمْلُكُ السَّمْعَ, the hearing, the ability, وَالْأَبْصَارَ, mean Allah controls your eyes and controls your ears. He controls that. He has this. And not only that, and He records everything we see and everything we hear, so that in the day of the judgment we're going to find everything, like a very long recorder. And I think it is not hard after all to believe that. Everything you told yourself and everything you saw, it is not hard nowadays to see that, because we have cameras and very gigantic ability of storage that we can record almost everything around us. So we are human, let alone Allah who created us. How He can do it, I think this is something for sure. He owns this ability. He owns your hearing ability, as-sam'a wal-absara, your eyesight. He owns them. وَمَن يُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ وَيُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ. Allah is extracting the life being from the death, from dead bodies, and He's extracting dead bodies from life. So getting life out of death and getting death out of life. How is that? For example, يخرج الحي من الميت. Sometimes when you have dead body, after a little bit of time you find that there are some kind of flies and there are some kind of worms are eating this dead body to death, are eating it to vanish. So where did they come from? This was just a dead body, nothing. It was nothing, and suddenly you found it. And the earth is death. And then it's dead actually. It's the definition of death, this ground. But after some time you find green plants and grass coming out of that. So Al-Hayy comes from death, actually. And we are a human being. We're coming from what? Coming from a piece of blood. So Allah made that. وَيُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ. Allah يخرج الميت من الحي. So sometimes a woman is carrying a very live baby inside her womb and got out dead with no life, and she thought he would go out, he would give birth to a lively, good boy, but he died. She doesn't control that. We cannot control that. So يخرج الحي من الميت ويخرج الميت من الحي. ومن يدبر الأمر. Who's taking care of everything? Who's taking care of the universe around us? What time the day should start, what time the night should start, what time they should merge together, what time the rain should come, what time we should be flooded, what time we should drink. Everything is controlled. وَمَنْ يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرِ. All these questions, Allah is telling our Prophet Muhammad to ask this kafirin about that. At the day, as I said, 1,000, almost 500 years ago, these people didn't have this innovation we have today. So their life were a little bit simple. That's why فَسَيَقُولُونَ اللَّهِ. When you ask them these questions, they will say, yes, Allah does these things. Because at the time, they only had idols to worship. They didn't have very new, unique philosophy that we have today. The life was much simpler than now, I'm sorry. So these people, and actually from our history book, they used to say Allah did that. Okay, they knew Allah did that, but they didn't believe in Him because they used to follow their desire. There we call in Arabic hawa. They used to feel that. فَسَيَقُولُونَ اللَّهِ. Okay, if Allah, قُلْ أَفَلَا تَتَّقُونَ. Okay, if it's Allah did that, أَفَلَا تَتَّقُونَ. Don't you fear from Him? Don't you just try to worship Him and know that He is capable of everything and gave you everything, so He deserves to be worshipped? And then in ayah 32 is saying, فَذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ. Allah is answering and is still in the clear reply. This is Allah, your God. Al-Haq, the right. The only pure right. He is Allah, the only pure, real and truth. فَمَاذَا بَعْدَ الْحَقِّ إِلَّا الضَّلَالِ. I mean, what's behind haqq? What's after haqq except dalal, astray, falseness? So if you just skip haqq and you take to the second level, after haqq, nothing. And if you don't take al-haqq as your guidance, you're left with dalal. Dalal means going astray, astrayness. It's nothing. Dalal means you don't know where to go. Because you skipped haqq, you will find dalal. So, فَمَاذَا بَعْدَ الْحَقِّ إِلَّا الضَّلَالِ. If you don't stick to haqq, you will find only dalal. You will find only the wrongness. فَأَنَّا تُصْرَفُونَ. He's asking, how? Why don't you think? How could you be? تُصْرَفُونَ means lift this haqq and go to stick with this dalal. Why? Why didn't you just stick with haqq? Take care of haqq. Because you don't have to lose it. Al-haqq is very clear. It's around us. Why should we every time search for something that doesn't exist? Allah created everything. And we're here because of Him. And we'll die by His order. Because no one else claimed before to have the ability to give death to people or life. But there is something called Holy Qur'an. It's saying that there is Allah, the One. And saying that this Allah created everything, and no one else said that. So what's your reason not to follow Him? What's your reason not to believe in Him? Okay, you just like to find other reasons from nothing, from your own soul, from your own mind, which is very limited and incapable, just to follow something which is not there, to worship your mind, to worship your beliefs, the one you created, not the one you actually found there. You're a guest on this life. Take care of that. And surprisingly, you know that you're a leaving guest. You're not going to stay. And you know you have nothing to do with this life you're going to live and the death you're going to have. You're just here to do things that have been destined to you. Yes, you choose it. Yes, you choose to be good or bad. But you have to know that you're going to be punished for bad things you did. And you're going to take thawab and Jannah and paradise for good things you did. So please try to go back to Allah and know that He did everything for you. And don't forget to share this video for other people. They may not heard before about Islam or Allah. Maybe, just maybe, you would be the way for them to discover reality. Take care of yourself until I see you in another episode. إلى اللقاء.